Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the State of Sino, where we talk about the state of Sino Alice as it stands. We've got Bokono, Tachibana, Fort Misery Gaming, you beautiful, wonderful Sino Alice content creators. It's good to have you here.
What's up, man?
Yo,
What's up?
We got it.
Calling
We
me out.
pretty much got it right this time. All right.
Yeah.
First question we're going to go into is what do you guys think with the pace of events as they stand?
Personally, I think it's very fast, and I know that a lot of players dislike it, which of course is controversial because you don't want a dead game, but at the same time it's difficult to pretty much keep playing Sinnoh at the pace it is once the honeymoon phase is pretty much ended. Would you guys sort of agree with me there?
Yeah, I think the gameplay or the gameplay loop is definitely one of the things that the community has the most issue with. And it just comes down to, I guess, I don't know if it's necessarily the grindiness of it, which it is grindy, but it just, it's almost like the feeling of the grinding might not be that enjoyable for some people.
Yeah, I agree.
it's not as rewarding, I think.
that
I think it's just the way that it's being worded. I think I just might not be wording it right, but it definitely is something about the gameplay loop just feels weird.
it's
You get on every day at your call time. You do your call, then you grind events. You run out of SP. Maybe you puree, maybe you don't, and then you're done for the day. So it's kind of weird because it's grindy, but it doesn't take that much time. If that makes any sense.
if you're not
Oh, yeah.
trying to get all of your maximum contributions, your guild contributions or whatever, take out the entire medal exchange because you don't need to. You can go into
Yeah.
that place and get just the bits that you need. And you can go, yeah, I don't need
that's
100 more
actually
Dragon Claws.
Yeah, I think that's actually what most players do. I don't think most players finish the entire shop and then also do the refilled shop. I think most players just do the parts.
Then you have not met me, sir.
One of the things
Yeah,
that I
I
really
do.
want to ask is what do you guys think about JP's ability where they took out tickets in general and you just have the auto skip feature constantly going all the time?
Other games have done that before, and in Sino, even in JP, it just doesn't make any sense why we even have tickets in the first place. Those are one of
Right?
the quality of life I think we should not even have had because they already had auto skip for a while now. That
It
should have
was
been the first thing we got.
they were looking at the Western market far too much in the future. And I'm almost like, skip tickets are nice, but I would almost want, just an auto feature because, I don't like paying for the fact that after going from other games that don't have to pay for skip tickets, this feels like a kick in the teeth now. But that's
Yeah.
besides the point.
Well, then I have a question. If
Mhm.
there's three options, we have tickets, we
Mhm.
have the auto repeat stage,
Yeah.
and then you have just outright skipping, which is
Yeah.
basically like a ticket but unlimited. Out
Yeah.
of those three options, which do you think would suit this game better? And there's two.
Outright
Which one would
skipping.
you prefer, and which one do you think suits the game better? Because you might
Outright
not prefer what suits the game.
Outright skipping because the actual
Yeah.
PvE gameplay of Sino is hella boring.
Yep.
Yeah.
No
It's
offense.
so boring.
Yeah.
I can
I
agree.
know.
But at the same time, I also think that if a game has full auto skip, that might not be good for, I don't know if it's necessarily like the number perspective, but it might not be good for the game in the long run to have content that you can just skip through.
I
If that
think
makes any
the
sense.
other hand of that is like right now, we got into elite on the lowest rank. I got to get my cost up a little bit to catch up with these other guys, and so I've had 3-3 on Act 2 hard going pretty much for 3 days, and I've gained 16 level. And every time you gain a level, it's like, all right, well, I'm going to add an hour onto that because that's how long it takes.
Yeah.
True.
I've still got like 55 Puri tickets.
Well, they sort of
run
tried
those.
addressing that in JP with double EXPs. So I don't. Well, I mean, not double EXP the item, but like a day that's double EXP from Fury.
I mean,
So
even
Yeah.
double EX.
I'm not
yeah,
sure if that would fix that necessarily, but it definitely makes the leveling
think it
process a
would-
little easier.
Yeah, because like the onboarding is better, but your issue now is Bork probably knows this, or Tachi, or one of you. When do pure tickets stop being free? When do you run out on auto now? Is it 40?
40 level rank 40, I think now they've upped it. It was
Yeah,
20.
40.
It's not much
Which
higher.
is still nothing.
Because when it started, it was
Literally
20.
nothing.
So
Yeah.
True.
it's only an extra 20
Like,
levels,
if
and
you
you were
have
gonna
free
get level
Puri
50
to
in your
40,
first like 2
by the
days
time
anyway.
you get to 100, if you're not grinding like 4 Puris a day, you're still looking at 4 to 5 weeks worth of catching up.
Imagine not being level 180.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How
Having it-
far do you want to take the auto repeat feature? Because I've played games where there's two types of auto repeat. There's the full like control auto repeat where you could choose how many times you wanted to repeat. And then there is, which would probably be a little difficult in this game because this game has high stamina cost, but stamina cap. And then there's the kind that just stop whenever your stamina runs out.
Yeah, well, the stamina runs out fast enough. The big problem is
yeah.
that you after you've done your run of stamina, you got to go back. For me, I'm purifying right now. I got enough tickets to do it, and free to play players aren't going to crystal refresh. They're gonna.
Yeah, for sure.
That's it. They're
Yeah.
going to do their bit. So, like, the purification is an interesting mechanic, but also like. How about an auto purifier? I would easily take an average
They
on my
already
purify.
have those in JP. It's not exactly like that, but they have something that basically it's almost like a ticket that you use that gives you as much AP as, let's say, 50 kills in purification. It's a set amount of AP.
Another thing I've gotten an issue with is kind of like the time. So if I wake up in the morning and the first thing I do is Sino, well, yeah, okay, I could be that sad, yeah. I check the daily things. You get your stuff. Check
Not even
who
taking
I'm,
a poop.
yeah, check who I'm against in the Coliseum. There's a couple of things to do, yeah. And then I'm going, right, let's go spend some stamina. You go in, you're in the whatever event that I'm doing at the time, and then that's it. Like, now I'm just looking at my phone, and now I've got nothing else to do.
Let's jump to the next topic where we're talking about the Colo scene. DST. My goodness, this thing is wrecking everything in the sense of, like, there's guilds straight up poofing, blowing up.
I definitely called it, and no one wanted to talk about it. I called it. I said this is going to fuck over people if they do not address it. They need to address it. They need to let us know it's going to happen, and it just never happened. And it came and poof.
It came.
I mean, I think they might have talked about it once, maybe, but their basic the line that they basically said was pretty much we're not doing shit. So that's not exactly what I meant when I said address it, but maybe I just misspoke with them. Yeah, the transition, because it's just like DST, it's very abrupt. You just wake up one day and the next day your guild is at a different time. The first day was the worst because I had 3 members that forgot to change their alarm times, and they just did not show up day one. So it might have needed to be like slightly different.
Yeah, DST definitely increased the competition everywhere. And I have to say, like, I don't know if it's good or bad, but I think it's unavoidable and it should have been handled better, as Tachi was saying. From a developer's perspective, they should have definitely given out, because I don't think it occurred in JP, because I don't think JP does
Japan
DST.
DST. Yeah, it doesn't.
So for them, they probably didn't think about it whatsoever. But as soon as it did happen, I think one of the key things that could have helped mitigate it was to possibly, and this is probably unable, like they cannot do it, was possibly keep the servers in a space that doesn't get affected by DST. But it just didn't make sense because obviously the timing and everything.
When it comes to accommodating one hand or the other, I have to say that from a developer perspective, while you think it might be easier to accommodate those that don't, I would like to remind you guys that this is the global server, and most people who play this game do get affected by DST. So
Okay.
even though you think it would make sense to not accommodate for DST, reminder, at least a very high percentage of the people playing the game at the moment are from Europe and the US, both of which have DST. And even most of Canada actually as well, and all of South America except for like one country. So unless you think the majority of the players are from Asia, which they're not, at least not on our server, it will make more sense to accommodate for the actual people playing the game.
I don't put anything where it's like speculation unless like I have serious hard
Meanwhile, I'm
confirmation.
looking at me and I put out 3 videos about Snow White coming soon. Snow White Paladin.
Yeah, no, I actually saw that video. But to be fair, I don't blame you because I thought that was coming soon as well. If you looked on the kind of the banners that were
it's
coming
the
out,
weirdest thing because I thought they were skipping her all this time because they didn't want us to get Ogre. But then they just released an Ogre replacement.
yeah,
They did.
Yeah, that whole
Yeah,
thing
they
was
did.
fucking weird.
So then what is the reason to skip?
the funny
They're
thing,
just trying to spite Tachi.
I
I'm
saw
just kidding.
Yes.
I saw Tachi's
Ogre.
video with the Snow White Paladin, and then I saw a Bork stream, I think it was, where someone asking for your speculation, and you called it right for I think it was the Pinocchio, because of the tin metal event.
They
It
had
was like,
skipped Pinocchio with the mechanical spear.
yeah.
I mean, it's one of those things where Pocolabo doesn't want to be predictable. And I think they really do watch our stuff as a small community as we are. I think they are aware of the things that we say, and they really will try at their distance. Yeah, they will try to make sure that our
Question then.
predictions are wrong.
If,
No
if
offense.
you know that they're watching us, do you think they were actually going to release, like if we made a collective effort to vote for someone other than Snow White, probably Red Riding Hood would have been the best idea.
Be
Wait,
next
you act
time.
like I didn't already.
I did vote for it.
Okay, all right. I was not invited because you guys know I'm part of the Snow White cult. But here's the thing. What if we did that? Do you think they would have actually released a new Grand Prix costume just for us? Because
They would
obviously
have
now
to.
that we
They're
picked
kind of
Snow White,
obliged.
we are just gonna get the Grand Prix Snow White one that JP got, which is the flag bearer one.
Right, here's the
You
thing
think if
about
we got
the
Red Riding,
Snow
would she
White.
have gotten
The Snow White, okay, they found ballots after they were supposed to be posted. They found
okay.
that's
Yeah,
what it was.
yeah.
100% Snow White, none for
Because
Red Riding
if
Hood.
we
Where did they
didn't
come
have
from?
Any vote counters to observe? No one was observing the vote counting, so it was clearly rigged.
Yes, that's it. Voter fraud in the grand election, okay?
All right, let's go into the other thing, and probably something that we've been thinking about due to the what they put out in the what's it called, the interview or whatever, but Project Fusion, right? Pretty much the servers combining, like with DST, it's already shifted the arena meta sort of. With us combining with Asia, what do you guys think about that? And do you think it's really realistic for us
Has
to
to
be
happen.
there by January? Like I thought that was nuts.
I think it's doable. I think
think
they
it's
already
absolutely
had it. They
doable.
already had the server infrastructure in place, so it's not a problem. I think
Yeah.
the bigger concern I would have is I don't think that our current time slots accommodate Asia at all.
No, they would
Which
have
is the
to-
entire
they're-
reason why
yeah.
Asian players aren't playing on global to begin with.
12 hours difference from us?
Yeah, but at the same time, right? They can't cut the amount. You mean the numbers, right? The number of time slots.
No, well, technically they're cutting down from 16 total, so technically they are cutting.
I mean, like ours, because you could just pretend.
No,
Asia
I
doesn't
think
exist
I
right
think
now.
they said they were increasing time slots, so I don't know.
Yes.
I don't
they
know how
were.
they're going to
But
adjust
then
that. It's going to go to
The thing
12,
about
maybe.
increasing or even decreasing is that both options have negative side effects, right?
Well, I mean,
Correct.
there's almost nobody in the
Increasing-
Asian servers right now.
Yeah, they
so-
have to, but they have to, like our servers wise, like if they increase from 8 to 10 or 8 to 12, that's going to make certain time slots dead, which is just bringing the Asia problem over to our server. The problem that certain time slots are just they don't have enough people to facilitate GC, right? But if they decrease it, then they're gonna have the problem where certain people just cannot make call up
I
because
think
there's not
I
enough.
think you're underestimating the amount of kind of guilds that aren't vocal in the community. Like, there's a lot of guilds that just exist in Sino Alice that we just don't know about. Just a lot of unknown, unnamed guilds. And
Yeah.
Asia will bring
Well,
over the guilds that are known, but there's also going to be a ton of other guilds to kind of fill out, and a ton of players, I guess, to fill out the slots. And I don't think they're going to do all 16. I feel like 12 would be a reasonable number. So add them 4. So they're condensing that kind of Asia amount to begin with, and then adding it onto ours, and then people can kind of split off and stuff like that.
Yeah, but you don't think that there's a possibility of certain time slots just not have? Remember, you do need a certain amount of players in a time slot to facilitate a GC because GC is obviously it's split up into 3 brackets, the 3 different tiers, And then obviously it's split off by time slots. So you need a certain amount of people in a certain time slot and in a certain tier of players. Otherwise, you can't even run GC because of the way GC works. You can't have matches that rerun the same opponent. You have to have unique guilds.
Yeah.
So if you don't have enough players, you just can't run GC.
We in our server have enough guilds to run our GCs. We didn't have any problems. Asia did have the problems. So if you squish their time slots by half, then their players alone will be enough to fill up their time slots. So
Yeah.
unless the Asia come over and they just don't want to go into the time slots that are there, then I don't think that we won't have enough players. I think it's something that the developers probably considered about the amount of active players that they've got.
Yeah, the only thing I can see is that I think a surprising amount of our guilds that we have now will actually move over to a better time slot. For example, you already know TS4 is 2 hours away, up or down, regardless. If they were to add a time slot above the current one right now, so for me, Guild War is at 6. If they were to have one at either 5 or at 7, I would have probably moved Choten to that. Now that if I move, that is one less guild in TS4. I think that is something that will probably happen. It's not just the Asia guilds that will join the new time slots. Some of the guilds in other time slots will be moving to the new time slots. That's just bound to happen. You can't lock our guilds from doing so.
So in JP as well, there's a time slot that's banned from GC because of the issue with not enough players, it seems. So I suppose if there is just a time slot that just can't cut it, I guess they'll just be like, you're not doing GC in this time slot. You're just gonna have to do GC in this time slot.
You say they're banned, right? That is obviously because they can't, not enough players. Do they just move, or do they get the free rewards like how Asia did?
They just move.
Yeah, I think when the issue is known from the beginning, then they go, right, this is what's going to happen if you're going to take part in this GC.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that being an option.
The combination of all the servers too will be technically more time slots for like EXP events, conquest events, and everything occurring, which I know not everyone really participates in, but it's another side of Sino Alice that technically shines that no other gacha can currently accomplish properly. But that's also one of Sino Alice's weaknesses, is because you have to play at a certain time, like we're all talking about right now. That is both its greatest strength and both greatest weakness. And I think like one of the biggest things that's gonna just make Colo much better is to have more proper competitive behavior. Because as soon as I move to time slot 7, which is where I'm at now, I am feeling the heat. Like I'm pretty sure y'all in time slot 4 are seriously feeling like, holy crap, I feel like this game changed, right? Like it doesn't feel the same as it used to be.
I feel like the competition has increased in every aspect.
TS4 has been assed out since day one. I don't know what y'all are talking about.
No, dude. Look, I will gladly fight against Sin and Peanut any day in comparison to fighting against some of these guilds that just joined TS4. Like we fought against Flame, they stripped their guild to our level, not just armor, like weapons. They lowered themselves down to be a more even fight.
Wow.
It was a lot of fun, but at the same time, it's a little humiliating.
Oh, we just got 3 million by Davari yesterday.
It's like fighting against someone in like a sport that you play, and they look down on you so much they actually chopped off a leg and an arm just to fight against.
Yeah, so like I'll apologize to Arya and Athena before this. So like me and Fort just moved to Tsukiyomi or Remnant, which is the new guild. Zengang is dead. Long live Zengang. F in the chats from everybody. DST murdered us, but we had problems anyway, so no worries there. So we went up against Davari yesterday, and this is Davari after they absorbed Bits of Sin and a couple of other guilds, so like they are significantly larger than they were. And like, I mean, everybody knows
they did just lose Sade.
Yes, they did lose Sade, but that does not seem to have slowed them down at
No,
all.
Devario is still incredibly
Yeah,
strong.
they still pounded us for about 3 million. So
Yeah, that just proves that your guild put up a good fight, though. You had a lot of life force to offer.
I don't know
True,
if that
true.
makes me feel better.
It should. It should. I think how much life force you can offer again. Like if you're gonna lose with style.
So from now on, guys, if you ever get into a battle with over 3 million overall life force, that means you did a good job.
You're a good guild, okay?
like,
Don't let
seriously.
anyone look down on you. You're a great person.
It's just really not high. In order to achieve those numbers, you seriously have to be like not wailing. That's the wrong term. But like your clerics are healing. You're trying your damnedest to do
Putting up
something.
a fight for them to get above 3 mil.
I think it's a good thing. I like what Demi said of if they are going to go into time slots where it's not going to be enough people, like for GC's sake, that they just moved into a time slot where they do have enough people instead of just obviously not really playing and just getting first place. So I think it's overall great for the game because we've seen so many top guilds disband, and obviously the player base has shrunk significantly since launch overall. So I think that's a great thing that we're able to do that, and I just think they need to add time slots. Like, for us, there's no time slots in the morning, and so people in Asia need to be playing at our time, like 10 a.m. EST, then that's what they should do to accommodate those players.
I have a
So
question.
I think
Are you
it's-
driving and podcasting?
Yes.
I'm proud of you. That's what it's like in America, Demic.
Yeah, is that what they do?
And in the rain.
Right,
And in the rain.
And the rain.
Oh, you just got hit by that storm? That sucks.
I have built kind of like my stream and my Discord around kind of bringing the community together as best as I can, and bringing Asia guilds in just has a chance to increase that. And I'm in a lot of contact with a lot of guilds in general to help with the showcases that I do with the Coliseum matches, and I want to start getting in contact with the Asia guilds, and when they come over, it's going to be like a smoother transition, so everyone's kind of talking, people can start getting to know each other, and meeting a lot of brand new personalities and just bringing a stronger sense of community.
So
And
what you're
that's like-
saying is there's going to be new people calling me Tachibana now.
Yeah.
Not just
Well,
that,
they'll be
but-
doing it in like Asian language.